Hello everyone, Bashar here. The wallpaper Wixwell Fusion calendar is here, alongside with the Fusion itself. As you know, it's been the latest trend that we are not given the Fusion schedule beforehand, but nowadays it's a little more consistent, so we kind of know what to expect. So because of the postponing they did, like about a month ago, we did upset the balance of champion chases and summon rushes, and normally the fusions would start with a summon rush instead of a champion chase. This time around we will be starting with a champion chase. In the champion chase we will have 2x on ancient shards, and we will also have a 10x on Wallmaster or Thorion, who's very nice Hydra champion. So as you know, with regular fusions, the strategy that we have been employing was, hoard the rares and fuse the rares into epics during the champion chase, so you get some free points out of it. And this time around, sadly, because it is at the beginning, the most we will be able to fuse will be sadly a single epic, right? Because right now we are on the first day, we have the Dungeon Divers and the Dragon, and we will open our shards tomorrow alongside with going into the training. As you can see, the 8-1 starts as the champion chase ends, so there would be no time to get this rare and fuse the second epic and get the extra 250 points. Sadly, those points will have to be wasted, but you can just grab the 4 rares from any of these 7 and then fuse the epic for a nice free 250 points. And this time around the rare is a void rare, so he means 50 points, right? So in this fusion we are going to get a nice free 600 points at most, right? The 7 rares are going to be 50 points each because they are void. That's 350, and fusing the epic gives us another 250 points, and that's going to be 600 points, right? I myself am around 100 ancient shards right now, and ancient shards on a 2x are worth slightly more than 50 points on average in champion chase tournaments, so I would be around 6,000 points maybe. So unless I buy something, I won't be able to hit the grand prize of the Eternal Soulstone or 20 Eternal Coins in the champion chase. I would like to, but of course the difference is pretty big. We'll see. So let's get into it. So first of all, you might observe that we have 16 rares, which means we cannot miss anything in the activity unless we go deep in the summon rush to grab the epic, right? So you can make that decision beforehand and you can skip up to 4 rares. Generally people prefer to skip the dungeon divers and maybe some artifact enhancements if the silver is narrow. I personally am going for the early milestone in the summon rush, and not gonna go for the epic. Yeah, so we have the Dungeon Divers and Dragon today, so because they start simultaneously, you can just get into it, unless you are farming stage 20 dragon or stage 9 hard dragon with food, or 8 I think it was. Theodore can do it. Unless you are doing dragon with food, I suggest you start on the dragon today. If you are doing the dragon with food, maybe you can wait for the arrival of the champion training tomorrow. It's an event, keep in mind, so books and essentials won't give you any points. Those give you points only during champion training tournaments. Books and essentials are champion training tournament only. So yeah, delve into dragon today, score what you can. Tomorrow we will have the champion chase and champion training, and of course it being an ancient is going to help, considering it will provide us with a lot of chicken. And now that the epic empowerment is here, we can also use those epics. Be very careful when empowering your epics, so I definitely do not suggest breaking up your current faction guardians for empowerment, because you can lose the speed and whatnot, and who knows when you're gonna fill them. But you also have to take into account that it could break tune teams. For example, imagine you are empowering your man-eater, let's say, and the second empowerment gives you 5 speed, and if you were on the high end of the speed, that will kick you out, right? I mean, of course, when the speed is too much, it's not very hard to balance. You can just use something that has 5 less speed. Glyphs also will help you, but keep in mind the second and the fourth empowerments will give you speed. Right? Nothing else is going to be a problem, but the speed is going to be a problem. And of course, for example, let's say you want to empower your Ugo for your Hydra, which is not a bad call, but keep in mind that Ugo and Maneater share factions. So when you are taking your faction guardians out to empower your Ugo, you are going to lose speed on Maneater. And if you were on the low end, you were going to lose your tune. As I said, I definitely do not suggest breaking up existing faction guardians. You should start empowering only if your faction guardians are full. Yeah, and from this point on, we will all be saving quite a lot of epics, it seems. And so I don't think so. If you have faction guardians, epic faction guardians full like me, there is no point in saving bad epics, right? You don't have to save Arndulf, for example. The good epics should be saved, and there is one exception, because Doom Tower epics and Jamarsa, the login epic, not login, the Recruit a Friend program epic, are unobtainable in the game. They use other champions for empowerment, right? For example, Rian the Conjurer uses Teresk. Right? Teresk is crap, and you don't need to save her, but she can be used for Rian's empowerment, which means she could be useful. So keep those in mind. I think there are 10 epics like that, 9 Doom Tower epics and +1 Jamarsa. So keep those champions in mind and don't feed them if you want to empower those champions. And Doom Tower epics are pretty good, right? Well, not maybe all of them, but they are generally good. Archmage Helmut is very, very good. Rian is not bad. Dark Kill is very good. Gwyneth can be good in some Synthranos rooms. Yeah. For example, for Gwyneth, you are using Kaden, who is not also very bad in and of itself. So yeah, there is that. So let's get back to the subject at hand. Sorry for getting sidetracked. So we start with Dungeon Divers and Dragon. We jump into Dragon today. We do a little bit of Dragon. Tomorrow we have the Champion Chase and the Champion Training. Then comes the Artifact Enhancement, in which we can evaluate the artifacts that we have obtained during the Dungeon Divers to get some points. And I would suggest, so the Dungeon Divers is very good, right? It ends at 5,000 points, which is, not very high for a Dungeon Divers, and it gives you a medium-sized stone, right? A immortal soul stone, right? And so that is a good reward. If you are not suffering for energy, you should be grabbing that. And we also have 2x on speed, so yeah, I think it's worth grabbing. It's pretty good. Then we have the Classic Arena Takedown. Those are quite standardized now. We have 4 dungeon tournaments, 1 champion training, 1 champion training event, 1 champion training tournament, 1 summon rush, 2 or 3 dungeon divers, and 2 arena tournaments. That is generally fixed, right? There can be champion chase is most of time. Sometimes it can disappear. Sometimes the dungeon divers can be replaced with a similar path event, but that is that is general structure. There are 4 dungeon tournaments, 2 arena, that's 6, 3 artifact enhancement, that's 9, 3 dungeon divers, that's 12, summon rush, champion chase, that's 15. What else is there? There is something else. 3 dungeon divers, 3 artifact enhancements, 6. dungeon tournaments, that's 10, champion chase 11, champion training event and tournament 13, dungeon that's 14. Yeah, no, it's 16. Okay, classic arena 2, that's 16. Okay, there is no problem. So moving on, then we'll start the ice golem. You can use the ice golem to finish your dungeon divers if you wish. Then I would say stop doing ice golem as soon as you are done with dungeon divers 1. Wait for dungeon divers 2 to arrive, then go hard at the golem, and go where you need to be for the dungeon divers. Then will come the artifact enhancement. Use the loot from the ice golem to do artifact enhancement 2. There will be also the Fire Knight as well, so Fire Knight can also be used to help the artifact enhancement. Then we have the champion training tournament alongside with Summon Rush, and Dungeon Divers 3. Dungeon Divers 3 overlaps with Fire Knight and Spider, that's gonna be easy. Then we have the second arena tournament, finally Spider tournament and artifact enhancement 3, in which we use the loot from Spider and Fire Knight to finish the artifact enhancement. It is quite nice, I think, pretty standard, nothing too bad, nothing too good. The rare being void is good for champion chase. I only wish we could have gotten more. If it was at the end, it was gonna be a ton of points, guys. Imagine, we could have gotten like 1,400 points in champion chase for free. And as you can see, the Summon Rush will award also an Arvid, right? The epic that we need to fuse out of the rares. So, that will be in deep. And if you are planning on going for that, you can skip 4 of the rares. Yeah. I mean, to me, guys, the arena and the champion trainings and the dungeon tournaments are not skippable at all. I mean, they are good and I would like to do them, right? Even if there was no extra reward from it. So I suppose you could save some energy on the dungeon divers, but the first dungeon divers looks very good, right? 5,000 points, that gives a Immortal Soulstone. I like that. So I don't like going deep in Summon Rush unless there is something extra for it, because I struggle to find 4 events that are worth skipping. And if I'm not skipping 4 events, then why open, right? Because the thing is, the idea is to save resources for going for 4 rares. By the way, I haven't even gone into it, but he's extremely worth doing, right? A1 100% provoke, counter attack and whatnot, right? We have multiple videos on him because we also, as you know, voted for him. Yeah. So if you think you can skip 4 events, I think he's worth going for, because guys, in Summon Rush we have those nice 10x's and whatnot, but we don't have the 2x's, right? So you are getting less out of your sacred shards than you would normally be. So, and all shards, of course. I'm just saying that because generally sacred shards are used during Summon Rush. So I am planning on just getting the first milestone, the Terix, the rare from Summon Rush, and be stopping there. But as I said, if you are, for example, very much suffering for silver, you can skip maybe 2 dungeon divers and 2 artifact enhancement events to get your load easier. And of course, the matter of the clan boss is important. I mean, if you are lucky and getting a lot of sacred shards from the clan boss these days, it could be an idea. Yeah, mine is horrible, so I'm trying to preserve the number of sacred shards I have, and that's about it. It's a mild-mannered fusion. I don't think there is anything too challenging there, unless they do some stuff with the scores. They require a ton of points somewhere. Doesn't look like it though. Mild-mannered and a very good fusion. So I wish you luck. And there is also the fusion pack that's here. The fusion pack is pretty good, guys. I mean, I'm going to say it from memory, but I think it was 3 sacreds, 9 voids, 20 ancients, 250 brews, 2500 energy, 3 5-star chicken, yeah, some multi battles and whatnot, right? So it is pretty good. The only problem is that it delivers the products over the course of 14 days. So which means even if you buy it today, you won't be receiving any of the ancient shards for the champion chase, right? And that's a little bit annoying. I mean, you want to get those 20 ancient shards during 2x so you can open them, but it's not gonna happen. I have bought the last 2 fusion packs. I think this time around I think I'm gonna pass, but it's not a bad offer, right? It's good. I just didn't appreciate not being able to receive the correct shards for the 2x. I might maybe buy you know, a good ancient offer if it pops. If it doesn't, I have about 100, so I will be satisfied with the second legendary book. So that is it. I'm getting sidetracked again, and I will see you guys on stream. Good luck on the fusion. Bye bye.